Okay, yeah, mouthpiece, mouthpiece. Okay, Jim, I'm going to give you specific detailed instructions in the locker room. I'm only going to tell you 2 things. Protect yourselves at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Touch gloves, bang at the ball. God bless.
Tim Bradley, Pitufo Diaz lost a 12-round unanimous decision in a title fight to Masayuki Ito. That was back in July. It was a thrilling fight. He got up off the canvas. He rallied in the middle rounds. He rallied in the late rounds. He may perhaps be a better fighter coming out of that experience and now being with Freddie Roach than we've seen him before.
Without a doubt. And that's what he's going to carry into this ring right now against Stevenson.
Southpaw in the golden gloves.
Watch your feet.
With Stevenson, it's going to be about controlling distance from the outside. He's a taller, more linkier guy with the arm reach on Diaz. Diaz has, a very short arm reach, and he needs to be mid-distance to inside to be effective against Stevenson.
Obviously, for those wondering, where is our normal partner of our 3-man booth, Andre Ward? Once again, he is the co-manager in guiding Shakur Stevenson's career, so he sits out this call of Stevenson's fight.
It's very important for Stevenson to get some respect of Diaz early. Stevenson's sitting back right now. Diaz is not rushing in, but he will if Stevenson doesn't give him anything to worry about on the way in.
Stevenson flicking that jab as Diaz takes small steps forward. Stevenson's last fight was January 18th in Verona, New York. It was a 4th-round TKO against Jesse Chris Rosales. It was a night when the 2 of us walked away and said, he has his man strength now. Diaz trying to do work on the inside.
That's exactly what Diaz needs to do. He needs to get inside, work the body, and bag up and continue to bag up Stevenson.
Straight left hand to the body from Stevenson, and then a left hand up top.
Diaz already getting in real close. Like I said, Stevenson needs to get respect of Diaz by landing some hard shots early.
Diaz stalking, trying to corral, trying to find that range to get to the inside. Keep in mind with the southpaw orthodox matchup here, those front lead feet can be an issue. We just saw it moments ago as Diaz closed the gap and stepped on that right foot of Stevenson. Watch for that. Now with that lead foot to the outside, he tried to fire off a right-handed Diaz.
A lot of movement from Shakur Stevenson. Do I think he can do it all night long? Yes. But he's allowing Diaz to inch too close to him too soon. He needs to go down to Diaz's body to try to get some respect.
Goes sweeping upstairs with that right hand. Flicks out the jab. Diaz quick to try to return fire just to keep him honest.
10, that's for the bell. We're punching after the bell. Got 5.
Coming to the end of 1 in the anticipated special attraction here. Stevenson and
back up.
now number 2.
Stevenson did good that first round, controlling distance outside, not allowing Diaz to get where he needs to be, and that's mid-range and inside.
Punch out, punch out.
The defense of Stevenson is the reason why I believe that Stevenson is ready for this moment.
We mentioned
He doesn't get hit.
We mentioned the fact that Diaz is with Freddie Roach now at the Wild Card Gym in Hollywood, California. Mark, what's your take on that relationship?
Thank you, Joe. I don't know if they call you Joe or Willis. Freddie told me that Shakur needs distance, and he steps back to throw that jab. And the key for Pitufo Diaz is to fight middle in, not to give him that distance.
And that's exactly what he's trying to do. Diaz right there actually Stevenson threw a combination right there and got Diaz's attention. And he needs to continue to do this all night long.
The right hand coming behind the jab from Diaz. Sweeping left hand, backs it up with another, does Stevenson.
Yeah, Diaz likes to hang out right in front. You know, not a whole lot of head movement. You can tell he's setting up, trying to look for one shot.
Get these glimpses of the hand speed of Shakur Stevenson.
It's the overhand right, of course, because it's the southpaw versus an orthodox. The right hand is what affects and hurts the southpaw.
Number one weapon against the southpaw is always that right hand from the orthodox fighter, which is one of the layers that I want to get into a little later on when we continue to talk about Bud Crawford and Amir Khan. Obviously, Crawford is arguably the best switch hitter of switching stances that we have seen in the modern era of boxing, maybe even going back a good 50 years. And been so comfortable in that southpaw stance, but strategically what he would be able to accomplish perhaps as an orthodox fighter against Amir Khan tonight, a guy who has been known to take damage from right hands.
As you see, Diaz really not coming behind his jab. He's not going to have success against Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson's too smart. He sees him coming straight in. And I'm waiting on Shakur to time him with something underneath, something surprising. Beautiful jab. You see how Shakur steps straight back? Both hands, but Shakur's ready to strike. If Diaz makes a mistake and walks straight in, Shakur will have firepower for him just like that, like he's doing right now against Diaz. Diaz is hoping for a power punch, something hard and possibly hurt Stevenson. He's not going to get it just waiting in front and not doing enough offense.
Ultimate young entertainer, and Teofimo Lopez is coming up next.
I think he's one of the best entertainer right now in boxing because of all his antics, plus his skill set.
Round 3 scheduled for 10, Stevenson and Diaz. They get a warning here from Gary Rosado. That is not a knockdown at all. He's going to light that gloves.
Don't measure, all right?
And you could hear Rosado say to Stevenson, don't push and don't measure with that jab. There are the total punches, as you saw, compiled by CompuBox just to our left right now. Stevenson with 24 total punches right now to Diaz's 13. Let's check in with Bernardo.
Both corners have differing outlooks on this fight. When I spoke with Wally Moses, he says Shakur is setting him up. He's doing everything the way he wants to, basing it off the jab. Freddie Roach says, look, Christopher cannot allow for Shakur to be first. He's got to throw combinations because he's just waiting for him.
Watch the feet.
Mentioned Wally Moses. He's the grandfather and co-trainer of Shakur Stevenson. What is he setting him up for, Tim?
He's setting him up for him to walk into a shot. You know, if Diaz gets a little bit, you know, overcommits a little bit and try to get to Stevenson, because Stevenson's keeping him outside like that with nice stiff punches, he's gonna get desperate. And Stevenson's gonna have some leather waiting on him on the way in.
Good combination from Stevenson. And he's touching him to the body well. Oh, look at that. A straight left hand to the body and then a right hook to the body from Shakur Stevenson. By far his best work so far.
Yeah, Diaz is trying to weather the storm. He's trying to land that one shot. He's looking for the young gun to make a mistake. And it's going to be with the left hook. He's trying to set it up. But he needs to set it up behind the jab. You have to give the young gun Stevenson something to worry about.
Great straight left hand. Right to the face of Diaz.
Beautiful boxing by Stevenson. Diaz is making it real easy for him, just sitting out in front, not doing anything.
Well, this is where he needs to work. Can't be having breaks on the inside if you're Diaz. Have to get to work, smother him, be on the attack a bit. And look at Stevenson having it his way here in round 3.
Stevenson saw that right hand from a mile away. You're not going to get it that easy. Stevenson is a wizard in the ring. He knows every aspect. Inside, outside, mid-range. He knows what to do.
10 for the bell.
At the right time.
Got 5.
You liked it, didn't you, Tim?
Wow, beautiful round.
And there is grandfather Wally Moses.
This is easy. You got a guy sitting in front, not doing any offense, not using your jab, and you just be first to the target. That's exactly what Stevenson is doing here. Everything off the jab, coming around the guard of Diaz there, and going down to the body after, varying his combinations to the head and body. Beautiful work by the young gun, Stevenson.
In that third round, Stevenson landed and threw highs so far tonight. He was 28 of 64, 28 connects. Diaz was just 4 of 23 punches thrown.
You see Diaz now trying to close the gap quicker.
Just ate a right hook, Timmy.
Yeah, just trying to close the gap quicker. He better be careful, because Stevenson gonna have something waiting on him.
Punch out, get that arm out, let him go.
I see an uppercut
No punches.
for Stevenson. I'm gonna say it again, an uppercut.
That's once I told
A
you.
punch that he hasn't thrown much yet on Diaz.
Watch your head, break. Yeah, watch coming over your head.
Yeah, every time the fight is outside for Stevenson, it's easy. And every time he works his hands, it's easy for him. But anytime he sits still for a little bit too long, Diaz steps in right there. Flashed the right hand at him, came around with the left hook to the body on Stevenson.
Let's look at the scorecards of Dan Raphael and Steve Kim. Remember, Andre Ward will be back scoring when we get to Teofimo Lopez, as well as the Bud Crawford fight. For now, as the co-manager Stevenson, he takes a step back, and both see it easily 3 rounds to zip. That was a dominating third round by Shakur.
Diaz trying to use his experience right now. I see him purposely stepping on Shakur Stevenson's foot, his lead foot, to keep him still so he can land some offense. Just pay attention to that.
Watch that left leg of Diaz. There it is right there,
There
Timmy.
it
Look at
is,
that.
yep.
It's right on top of that lead right foot of the Olympian.
You know who used to do that? Marquez used to do that against Manny Pacquiao all the time. Step on that lead foot. Keep Manny Pacquiao still.
The straight right hand from Diaz.
It was a grazing blow.
And look at the hand speed with these left hands to the body from Shakur. He has been placing the straight left hand to the body consistently. Now he throws an uppercut in the mix.
It's just beautiful work by Stevenson. If he can continue this, be a masterful performance,
Get that arm, watch your head.
be great. But Diaz is always dangerous because he has that left hook right there just on the shoulder of Stevenson. Stevenson can't get relaxed at any moment in this ring with Diaz.
You know, Shakur Stevenson spent quality time out in Colorado Springs with Terrence Bud Crawford. They have become somewhat of boxing brothers. Crawford's been sitting back watching Stevenson's first 4 rounds, and Christina Poncher is with Bud Crawford. Easy thing to do on the day of a fight. The day of a fight. How about 2-3 days out from a fight? When we had our production meeting, I thought he was going to lunge across the table at Bernardo Osuna for one simple, innocuous question.
Well, you remember the question?
It's always about respect when it comes to Bud Crawford. You heard Christina ask him about headlining a pay-per-view at MSG, and he feels like he should have always been in this kind of a place on this kind of a stage. Round number 5 here between the undefeated Shakur Stevenson in the gold, who just took a little bit of a forearm at the end of that right hand from the recent title challenger, Christopher Diaz. Christopher Diaz landed 13 punches in round number 4. That after landing 15 combined in the previous 3 rounds. So it was a better round for Diaz. However, Stevenson was 25 of 58.
This is the former title challenger against Ito, and Diaz and Stevenson right now is making him look ordinary with the hand speed, controlling the distance, altering his punches up and down, head and body, just being smart.
Bernardo, what is Freddie Roach saying in the corner of Christopher Diaz?
He was happy at the start of this 5th round as he put Shakur Stevenson in the corner and threw combinations. He told me, I'm used to having the faster, powerful southpaw, but that's the only way he's going to turn the tide.
Diaz trying to close that space. Shakur utilizing those great hands.
Yeah, Shakur just tapping right now, you know, touching him. Trying to get Diaz to keep his hands at home, to buy him some time. Diaz is putting a lot of pressure on Shakur. And like I said, Shakur, the only way he gets caught is trying to get away.
I'll tell you, that was a sneaky little uppercut on the inside from Stevenson.
I told you, he knows every aspect of the ring. That's why I say he's ready for it. He got hit with a big shot right there.
Right hand from Diaz.
It came looping. It was coming from a different area, different way, instead of straight. Let's see if he can land that shot again against Stevenson.
Good combination from Shakur.
I love how calm Stevenson is inside the pocket. This is exactly where Diaz wants to be. And Stevenson having his way, still landing some sharp body shots down below and comfortable in the pocket. Showing them that I don't care where we are in the ring. This is my ring. And I'm going to dominate it, every aspect of it.
He's right in that pocket going to the belt line. Diaz tries to return with a left hand to the belt line. There's another left uppercut as we come to the halfway point scheduled for 10.
Just know that Khan is gutsy. He always wants to fight the best, but at the same time, he's a great businessman. Great businessman.
Watch your heads, watch your heads. Break, break. Let it go.
Stevenson right there doing a real good job tying up Diaz and bringing him right back to the center of the ring.
Punch out, punch out, punch out.
And Diaz continuously stepping on, if he purposely stepping on the front foot of Stevenson, and now having some success
Off his head. Stop, stop,
by
stop.
closing the gap on Stevenson.
All right. Well, that's because he pushed his head down. Don't push it down.
Oh, that was a nice shot, that left hand. Maybe the most effective punch so far tonight.
He hurt him with that. He buzzed him. You know, for a split second, it kind of shuts off and then comes back on. The light shut off just for a split second.
Don't remind me of that sentence.
Beautiful shots by Stevenson.
Boy, he is so comfortable standing right in front, isn't he?
Yeah,
Look at this. Look at the combination work, Tim.
He still got to be careful.
Sure does. That was a good example of it right there. Opened up and nearly paid the price.
I got ya. Watch your head. Don't push off.
You know, Diaz still has that eraser, that left hook. Right now, he's placing it downstairs to the body, trying to bring the hands down to Stevenson. And he's looking to make a home for it upstairs. Stevenson better be careful, because Diaz, a vet, got a lot of experience. He can weather the storm and just throw one punch, the left hook, as Stevenson is in the pocket or at that mid-range.
A reminder, Teofimo Lopez against Edis Tatley is coming up next. If you like what you're seeing out of Stevenson and you're sitting here saying, man, this kid is going to be something for a lot of years to come, then wait what you see with Teofimo Lopez, because as refined as Stevenson is, as pure with the Olympic pedigree, Lopez early on has showed us dynamic electric power. So you get the best of both here tonight before we get to Bud Crawford.
Nice body shot from Diaz, coming around that lead elbow of Stevenson. Ooh, just off the mark for Diaz. He's still looking for that home run punch.
As we take a closer look at Stevenson, of course, all eyes in just a little bit will be on Amir Khan, the challenger to Bud Crawford. Bernardo is with the brick. If Bud Crawford here at 34-0 with 25 knockouts is defeated in his breakout moment, right? I mean, Bud's been dynamic for years and years, but this is the biggest stage that you can have in the game. Pay-per-view, Saturday night, MSG, and the talkabout fight so far this year in boxing. But Khan is seeking that upset. Round number 7 here between Stevenson and Diaz. Stevenson, the 21-year-old 10-0 fighter, a featherweight from Newark, New Jersey, who is a brilliant Olympian, has been an ascendant pro. Earlier this year, really looked like he grew into it a lot. Many said this was a poor management decision to take on Diaz, a guy who fought for a world title, a guy who's tough and grizzled and can make it a nasty prize fight. But look at the CompuBox numbers so far, a 122 to 56 connect advantage for Shakur.
They're saying it's a poor management. No, I think it's a poor management on Diaz's part.
Would you look what's going on with the lead feet here?
Yeah, he's doing it purposely, and the ref is not saying anything about it.
Gary Rosado is our veteran referee tonight. We will have Ron Lipton in the Lopez fight, and then David Fields gets the call for the World Championship.
As I was saying, you know, Diaz fought for the World Championship.
He's all the way on his ankle almost.
and
then he returns it.
Returns it.
Would you look at the lead feet here, folks?
Now let me continue, because
that was outrageous, Tim. I'm sorry to interrupt. That was...
They're doing it to each other, but that's the young gun right there saying, okay, you want to do that? I can do it right back to you. He's not trying to give an edge to Diaz in this fight. You know, all that beating on your chest, come on, hoorah, hoorah stuff, that don't win your fights. You know, he needs to find a way to get to Stevenson, and I'm talking about Diaz right now. So anyways, as I was saying that for Diaz, way to close the gap.
Yeah, he needs more of that, Tim.
He lost against Ito, came back, had one fight, and now he's fighting against one of the most skillful fighters in this division. To me, I think that's poor management, you know, because if you want to get back to the top, you need to, you know, fight, build yourself back up, build your confidence up. Not with just one fight, but maybe a couple of fights to get back in title contention. Not fight one of the most skillful young fighter, rising stars in boxing.
There's the view opposite Diaz. As both men come to meet in the famed ring at Madison Square Garden. Round 8.
A lot of posing from Diaz. Not using his jab to get close. That's always been the problem with Diaz, even when his Ito fight. You know, looking to load up with one shot. Now he's lunging forward. You see him not anchoring down with that right hand as he throws it, leaving himself exposed. And Diaz and Stevenson didn't make him pay. Both guys right now not committing, trying to get one another to make a mistake just so they can make the other guy pay for the mistake. Diaz is looking to load up with something. I think it's a big overhand right again. There it is. So predictable of Diaz.
I just love the middle portion of this pay-per-view to get this look and a step up against Stevenson, and then we are moments away from the outrageously entertaining Teofimo Lopez. Christina Pancha was back there visiting with Lopez. Christina, what's up with him?
Joe, as you mentioned, he is always entertaining when he fights here, but he said, although this is my 5th time, this one feels a little bit different. It's a pay-per-view, it's Madison Square Garden, and this is the moment that I was born for. I plan to take over the show, and hey, Totli's never been stopped, and I would like that feather in my cap tonight.
That's coming up next. Lopez at 12-0 with 10 knockouts, the Brooklyn-based lightweight who has sensational power and those entertaining celebrations. But Edis Tatli from Finland is a former world title challenger. He has experience. He has 31 wins. He can box. Question will become, can he pose a threat at all to Lopez to keep him away? Meanwhile, the other 21-year-old who has been lighting up everything online in the sport is right here, Shakur Stevenson.
Punch out, punch out, punch out.
Nice little step back. Stevenson steps inside, smothered Diaz. You know, this is veteran tactics, man. Like I told you, you know, he knows every aspect of the ring. He stepped inside, grabbed the hold of Diaz, and didn't allow him to work inside. That's just smart. That's being smart. He's a very, very smart, cerebral fighter. Uses quick reflexes, straight punches down the middle, varies it down to the body as well.
10, let's put it down.
Keep on going this way for this dynamic, sublimely skilled, quick twitch athlete that someday he will be headlining a pay-per-view at Madison Square Garden. Now through 8, the good news for Diaz is that 66 landed punches, that's the most by a Stevenson opponent in his 11 pro fights. The bad news is Stevenson has landed 146. 146 to 66 as we start round number 9. It has been a dominating performance by Shakur.
Yes, it has, Tess. You know, and tonight I think we're going to be, you know, looking at the future of boxing. You know, Shakur Stevenson, I believe that he's going to be a top pound for pound someday. And I also believe that Lopez will be a top pound for pound, you know, in the future. In Tess, just like Crawford and Loma, I'm telling you, we're going to be seeing who's the best and picking who's the best in the future.
I just spoke with Freddie Roach, and I asked him, Freddie, how do you think it's going? He said, not well. I'm trying to get him to throw more combos. I asked him, why is he not doing it? He said, the kid is just too quick.
Is he ever?
No punch it. No punch
Now, it's a pretty
no
easy fight to score so far. Many didn't think that would be the case, but as we look at our ringside scores, Dan Raphael and Steve Kim from ESPN.com both have it as a clean sweep for Shakur Stevenson.
You know, this is where Shakur Stevenson can really take advantage of Diaz. As Diaz, you know, comes forward and he's getting a little desperate. Leaves himself wide open. Shakur's going to land some flush shots on Diaz, trying to get close.
You know, saw the Puerto Rican flag and the PUR next to the name of Diaz. Now, his family's so greatly affected by Hurricane Maria. He was in New Jersey training when the storm hit. His home in Puerto Rico was completely demolished. And he said to us, you know, you find out quickly that life is more important than just the home and all the stuff that you have. He was able to get his family out. He got everybody to New Jersey where he was living and training. And he said that was all that mattered to him. And right now, if he doesn't come up with some type of jackpot answer and lands it all, he is going to be headed towards the second loss of his career.
Defeat.
And who knows how we will one day reflect on this so-called challenge for Shakur Stevenson, right? I mean, this thing could just be nothing but a clear path to greater things to come.
Absolutely. And like I said,
not even a speed bump to me.
Not yet. It's not over yet, you know, but Shakur Stevenson in total control right now against Diaz.
No punch. Off his head. Keep it up. 10 seconds for the bell. 5 seconds.
Good work. Nice little step back from Stevenson.
Touch gloves. This is
Who would have thought that we would have a clean sweep if Shakur Stevenson can guide this thing in for a nice landing? Diaz was supposed to pose a threat. The experience, the infighting, the stalking. Shakur's been masterful. Look at him.
Just so masterful.
Snap out that quick jab from that southpaw stance.
He's like call him, you know, he's making a Picasso painting right now on this canvas with good footwork, controlling that range. You see the frustration from Diaz, the quick footwork of Stevenson. Stevenson being smart and not falling for the antics of the experienced Diaz. And he's doing right by keeping his distance. He won every round,
measure,
in my opinion.
Diaz coming in strong, and he took a short right hand from Stevenson when he did. Can he close that gap again? Under 2 minutes to go.
Right now, if I was in Stevenson's corner, I don't know what they told him. I didn't hear him, but I would tell him, hey, you won this fight. Be smart. Keep your hands high. When he gets close, tie him up.
Watch out. Don't push.
Don't take chances. You got this fight in the bag.
Break! Don't punch it. I got you. Break! Break! No punch, no. Stop. Stop. Yeah. Last round. Don't let me take a point, all right? Let's
Kurt
keep it
Rosado
clean.
admonishing
Last round.
Shakur Stevenson, saying, hey, man, it's the last round. Let's just come in clean. Don't make me get involved. Don't make me take a point here.
Watch the feet.
Yeah, that's just Stevenson not giving an inch, even in the last few seconds of this round, minute of this round.
He has over-delivered in terms of his mastery. More than passed this test. In these final 40 seconds, he just has to stay safe. Just stay away from Diaz, who has 16 knockouts in 24 wins. Diaz frustrated. Shakur hands up.
That's right.
Instead of stepping away, how about you go for it? Try to hit that lottery ticket.
He's afraid of what's going to come if he does step in.
Or what's about to come is the name Shakur Stevenson out of the ring announcer's mouth. So we saw one version of the guy who people think is the next great one, Shakur Stevenson. A master at his craft now at 21 years old in the featherweight division.
Judge Letterman scores it 100-90. Judge Morgan 99-91. And Judge Pasquale scores it 98-92. All in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision. And now both the IBF Continental and the new NABO featherweight champion from Brick City, Shakur Stevenson.
Ringside observers did as a clean sweep 100-90. Joseph Pasquale at 98-92. I would love for him to do my taxes by next April 15th. Shakur Stevenson is now 11-0. Tim, they talked about that being too much too soon. Some did. The reality of this sport often works in a different way. Bernie.
All right, they're still getting the belts on Shakur Stevenson, but Shakur, the most important question I've got for you is how were you able to neutralize a man who just fought for a world title 2 fights ago?
All I'm going to say is Christopher Diaz is a great fighter. I take nothing away from him. He's a great fighter. My game plan was to come in here and box. I came here to get the victory, and that's what I've done.
All right, you know that this sets you up for bigger and better things. Who do you want to fight?
I want to fight all the champions. I mean, I'm the smartest boxer in boxing. My defense is the best in boxing. Nobody got better defense than me. Y'all can say whatever y'all want. I feel like I'm the next Floyd, the greats. I'm the next Sugar Ray, all of them. They can hate me. It is what it is. But look, 126, I'm coming. Oscar Valdez, Josh Warrington, I'm coming. I don't care about none of y'all. What's up?
Right now, you think you've got the talent to beat any champion out there?
Right now, if I got the chance to fight any champion, I'll take Josh Warrington.
That's the second time that this young man has called out Josh Warrington. Joe, back to you.
All glory to God. All glory to God Almighty. I couldn't do this without him.
Thank you very much, Shakur.